Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our annual Courage and Compassion Award Ceremony. I'm Deborah Wentz, President and CEO of the New Jersey Association of Mental Health and Addiction Agencies, otherwise known as NAJAMA. Marketing and business expert Stephen Jeffy said, "Innovation is the unrelenting drive to break the status quo and develop anew where few have dared to go." Our honorees truly embody the spirit of this quote in their diverse roles in the behavioral healthcare field, and I am humbled to honor them for their creativity that has led to a tremendous impact on the lives of many children and adults throughout New Jersey. This event is always the highlight of our conference as it provides a meaningful opportunity to recognize individuals and organizations that are making a profound difference in their unique ways. This award ceremony also offers memorable examples of compassion, dedication, and determination that undoubtedly reinforce everyone's commitment and inspires others to strive for new heights, especially in the new post-pandemic world we hope to be entering soon. New paradigms are needed every so often, particularly as the world, and especially the behavioral health field, undergo many changes at what seems to be an increasingly fast pace. We truly admire individuals and organizations that not only embrace change, but also spearhead new ways of meeting people's evolving and increasing needs. We are most grateful to the sponsors of the Courage and Compassion Awards Ceremony, the R.W.J. Barnabas Institute for Prevention and Recovery, and Rutgers University School of Social Work, and those who placed advertisements in the program book in recognition of the award recipients. Their support makes it possible for us to bestow honors on the individuals and organizations that so richly deserve this special recognition. Before we officially begin the program, I would like to introduce Susan Lowry, Chair of NAJAMA's Board of Directors, who will share the awards presentation with me. In her 4 years on the NAJAMA board, Susan has achieved tremendous impact through numerous initiatives, including Medicaid payment reform, integrated regulations, workforce development, liability protections for NAJAMA agencies, and the advancement of technology in behavioral health and substance use treatment services. Susan also represents NAJAMA members extremely effectively on the state and federal levels. In addition to her leadership on the board and as Associate Executive Director of Catholic Charities, Diocese of Trenton, Susan chairs the state's independent fee-for-service Transition Oversight Board and played an integral role in national advocacy that resulted in extension of funding for and expansion of Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinics, or CCBHCs, and the creation of new CCBHCs in New Jersey and other states. So now it is my pleasure to turn the program over to Susan.
Melissa Sampath is a visionary leader at CarePlus New Jersey, where she's Vice President of Community Mental Health Services. One of the numerous examples is Melissa's taking on of the role of clinical manager for the Coordinated Specialty Care Program, which she built from the ground up to provide wraparound services to individuals who've experienced first episode of psychosis. Besides implementing the clinical high risk for psychosis program, Melissa led a specialized pilot program for providing early psychosis intervention for youth and young adults and emergency support services for essential workers and first responders during the height of the pandemic. Under her leadership, Community-based initiatives were developed for maternal mental health advocacy, training, and education in CarePlus's new Maternal and Family Center. Please join me in honoring Melissa Sampath, recipient of the Visionary Leadership in Clinical Innovation Award.
Thank you all so much for being here to share this occasion during the annual Courage and Compassion Awards ceremony. I am overwhelmed with gratitude to have been selected to receive the Najama Visionary Leadership in Clinical Innovation Award. I am so honored to be recognized in this way by Najama, and it means so much to me that the work that I am so passionate about also resonates with others. This accomplishment is not something that I achieved alone. There are so many others who deserve to share in this award. I would like to thank the teams at CarePlus New Jersey who have been instrumental in the development and pilot of various specialty programs focusing on maternal mental health, employee wellness, and the expansion of mental health services under the provision of the CCBHC model. During my career at CarePlus New Jersey, I have had the opportunity to work with some of the most talented people in the mental health field. It is with their support, dedication, and commitment that has made it possible to provide such excellence in mental health care. A very special thank you to my nominator, my colleague, and very good friend, Gabriela Urado, as well as our leadership, Joe Machendero and Anne-Marie Zehal, for their roles in the process that led to my selection for this Visionary Leadership and Clinical Innovation Award. It is your exceptional leadership and support that has helped to shape the success of our organization. I would also like to thank my friends and family for their love and support, especially throughout the pandemic, when mental health providers have experienced increased challenges, greater workloads, and have needed support more than ever. Last but certainly not least, thank you to Najama for offering recognition to mental health providers like me. I hope this recognition of my work can serve as an inspiration to others. We at CarePlus will continue to work towards contributing to a high quality, more accessible, less stigmatized mental health care system. I look forward to continuing to develop more innovative solutions that will address service gaps in the field for many years to come. I am humbled and appreciative. Thank you so much.
Nicole Doherty is an inspiring role model. After struggling with addiction for 27 years, she became a peer recovery specialist in 2018 at Preferred Behavioral Health Group. Nicole has made a tremendous impact on every individual she serves through her compassion and empathy by eliminating barriers to recovery. In January 2020, Nicole was promoted to case manager for the Monmouth County Support Team for Addiction Recovery Program, began taking classes to become a certified alcohol and drug counselor, and started an internship. Earlier this year, she was hired to work part-time at a food bank to encourage individuals with mental illness and substance use disorders to begin treatment. She was also recruited by Brookdale Community College to teach a course on becoming a peer recovery specialist. And she established a partnership with the Asbury Park Police Department to avoid incarceration and get individuals into treatment. Please join me in honoring Nicole Doherty, recipient of the Inspiring Peer Leader Award.
My name is Nicole, and I'm a person living in recovery. When I found out I would be this year's recipient of the Inspiring Peer Award, I was both honored and humbled. I have so many people to acknowledge and thank that helped me to get to where I am today. I want to thank everyone at Preferred Behavioral Health Group, from our awesome leader, Mary Pat, to my colleagues on the STAR team. My journey with Preferred started back in 2009 as a client, and I drifted in and out of treatment for about 5 years. I was always treated with compassion and dignity, even though I struggled to stay clean during that time. So in 2017, when Anthony Castellano called me with an offer of employment, I jumped at the chance to get my foot in the door. The idea that I would get to serve others where I had been treated was so exciting to me. The staff now embraced me as a part of the team. My supervisor, Jean Hennon, and director, Laura Messina, always pushed me to invest in myself and pursue opportunities. I think they believed in me long before I believed in myself. I'm so proud of the work we do at the STAR program every day, but especially the work we've done since March of 2020. We didn't miss a beat when the pandemic hit. We immediately started finding safe and creative ways to stay out in the community and do the important work we do as peers. We developed a partnership with the Asbury Park Police Department during this time and also with Brookdale Community College. Then last November, I was added to the amazing team at the John Bon Jovi Soul Kitchen in Red Bank. I am forever grateful to Dorothea Bon Jovi for having the faith and confidence in my abilities as a peer, which led me to being hired as the community outreach coordinator for the Red Bank restaurant. I am so grateful to be a part of something so special and so valuable to my community. I want to give a very special shout out to Marvin Jackson and Judy Daniels for their constant support and belief in my work. And lastly, I want to thank Najama and everyone attending this conference. Without people like you, clinicians and treatment providers, there would be no me. I want to thank you for your hard work and dedication. Recovery is possible and it happens every day. And for me, my personal journey has been beyond my wildest dreams, and I am really looking forward to what the future holds.
Throughout her career, Michelle Ford, President and CEO of Inroads to Opportunities, has been a champion for the most vulnerable populations, those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In addition to being a passionate and compelling advocate, she has demonstrated skill at innovation, most notably during the height of the pandemic. Michelle quickly developed virtual innovations to ensure uninterrupted delivery of services. For example, she led the staff in using social media and sending links for weekly activities to the clients. With an equal focus on the staff's well-being, Michelle expanded the agency's 24/7 emergency wellness hotline. Her dedication to the employees has resulted in having nearly all of the original staff stay on board throughout the pandemic. Please join me in honoring Michelle Ford, recipient of the Inventive Leader in Adult Clinical Services Award.
I wanted to thank Najama for this recognition as the Innovative Leader in Adult Clinical Services. I also want to thank Najama for being our lifeline to what is happening in behavioral health, both on a national and state level, as well as keeping us connected to each other so we can collaborate and innovate our service delivery models. Najama has also been a terrific partner through its IT, so I want to give a special shout out to Art and Ron for supporting Inroads infrastructure so we have no lapses in our service delivery every day. Last year, we faced a lot of challenges, probably the most we ever have as providers. We had to use all our tools and resources to continue to provide much needed behavioral health services. I believe we were successful in working with individuals without interruption by keeping our mission in the forefront of all of what we do and providing necessary safety elements so we could see people where needed and where they were most comfortable. Inroads is very lucky to have a behavioral health team and Dr. Lim, our medical director, Letty Escobar, our mental health services director, and our nurse, Gail Shad. And they led our efforts over this last year. I want to recognize them for providing excellent level of care that continues to help keep people mentally healthy. Thanks again and enjoy the rest of the conference.
As Assistant Director of Community-Based Recovery Support Services at the R.W.J. Barnabas Health Institute for Prevention and Recovery, Lynn Seward led the development of innovative, life-changing programs for individuals with substance use disorders. One of the most creative programs Lynn spearheaded is the Monmouth County Recovery Collaborative, a partnership with the Monmouth County Department of Human Services that aims to bring together countywide resources to increase access and better coordinate services. Lynn also created Unhooked, through which the Institute's recovery specialists educate Highlands law enforcement personnel about recovery support, assist with community policing, and connect individuals to treatment. In response to the tremendous increase in the demand for the group's support meetings during the pandemic, Lynn rallied her team to launch a comprehensive virtual all recovery support meetings program. She expanded the role tremendously by leading innovation, nurturing her relationships with community partners, and creating a culture for her team to succeed. Please join me in honoring Lynn Seward, recipient of the Inventive Leader in Adult Prevention Services Award.
I want to thank Najama for recognizing me for this amazing award. I'm completely and truly honored. I would like to thank Michael Litterer and Connie Green with Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health, the Institute for Prevention and Recovery, for nominating me, never clipping my wings, and allowing me the opportunity to share my vision and bring it to life. I would like to thank Monmouth County for embracing everything wellness, supporting the growth of community partnerships, bringing all together for one mission, one goal, to serve everyone with no wrong door. I would like to thank Highland Police Department for being the first to say yes to treatment instead of incarceration. They have truly shifted the stigma oftentimes associated with individuals who are struggling with mental health and/or substance use disorder. This partnership has led the way in Monmouth County for modeling what community policing really means. I would like to thank all the community partners that believe coming together rather than staying siloed would help serve more individuals while ensuring appropriate level of care and strategically addressing system gaps head on. Lastly, I'd like to thank my staff for taking care of themselves so that they could take care of others through this most difficult time. Thank you again so much for this most honorable award.
Daniela Biancanello was a care manager at Coordinated Family Care. Sadly, she passed away on October 5th, 2020, and all of us at Najama extend our deepest condolences to her family, her friends, and her colleagues. Daniela was always fondly remembered for her endless smile and her dedication and compassion. She eagerly invested time after work hours, including weekends, to offer additional support for the families she served, including researching specific information for each client's needs. Daniela had an extraordinary way of engaging with families who presented with extreme difficulties. She eagerly embraced every challenge that each family encountered and patiently worked with them to overcome their resistance or inability to cooperate with the services she offered. Please join me in posthumously honoring Daniela Biancanello for the indelible impact she achieved as the ingenious direct care provider.
While bittersweet, I am honored to co-accept the Najama Courage and Compassion Award for Indigenous Direct Care Provider on behalf of Daniela, her husband Anthony and family, and Coordinated Family Care. Before speaking about the work that Daniela provided to youth and families of Middlesex County, I wanted to give each of you a visual of the person Daniela was. Daniela joined Coordinated Family Care in December of 2018, the same week as our holiday party. She immediately immersed herself in meeting with her families. In addition, at our holiday party, she volunteered to play the star in an activity where she was made into a snow woman using toilet paper. She did this with a smile on her face. She was the care manager who, even on your worst day, was able to flip the mood the moment she walked into a room or a family's home. Working with youth and families who struggle with mental health, developmental disabilities, and behavioral issues impacts the entire family. Daniela understood that. As an organization, we rely on feedback from our families to learn where our strengths and opportunities are. We did hear from several of Daniela's families. They said things like, Daniela's great. She goes above and beyond for both my kids. We talk all the time. And we also heard, anything I ask of Daniela gets done. And lastly, another family commented, I can tell when people don't want to do their job, but she is not like that. She just gets it done. Daniela embodied the values and principles of wraparound, child-centered, strength-based, family-friendly, and responsive to the community. When not facilitating a face-to-face or child-family team meeting, she spent her time advocating for families and supporting others on her team, ironically named Team Lifesavers. Again, thank you, Najama members and those attending today's award ceremony, and I leave you with this. It has been said that some people leave their chosen profession to find their life's work, and there are others who find their life's work in their chosen profession. Daniela found her life's work in her role as a care manager. It is the lives she has touched and changed for the better, which is what remains as the work of her life. Thank you again on behalf of Daniela and Coordinated Family Care, the Middlesex CMO.
Hi, my name is Anthony Biancanello, and I am here to accept the Njama Courage and Compassion Ingenious Direct Care Provider Award on behalf of my late wife, Daniela Biancanello. Daniela and our daughter, Juliana, passed away in October of 2020, during which time Daniela was a case manager at Coordinated Family Care. During her time at CFC, Daniela was dedicated to her job and showed a tremendous amount of passion while helping her families. Her heart was enormous, and she truly believed in doing more. One day during the summer of 2020, I was talking to Daniela about her job. She spoke about how she did a lot of good for her families, but wished she had made a bigger impact. As an outsider looking in, it was clear Daniela had an impact on her families, but in her heart, she wanted to do more. This is who she was. This is what she embodied. Do whatever you can for whoever you can. Strive to make a bigger impact. Because of this, I have started Daniela's Gift, the Juliana Maria Foundation, in an effort to continue to make a difference for families who need us. Our goal is to make the impact Daniela dreamt of making. I'm beyond proud of the person she was and all she had achieved. I'm beyond proud to accept this award on her behalf. I know Daniela would be brought to tears knowing she was given this award and recognized for her work, even though she wouldn't want the credit and would say something along the lines of, "It's my job, I love it, I'm not that special." While she may have felt she wasn't special, she was indeed special. She just didn't know how special. She really didn't know the impact she had on people while she was here on Earth. Daniela was a person who believed in her job, believed in her organization, and believed in the work they were doing. And she believed in the people she was helping. Thank you to CFC for the nomination, and thank you to Njama for choosing Daniela for this award. Congratulations, Lo. You are forever recognized by your peers, and you are a CFC lifer.
Thomas Smith is an advisory board member for Attitudes in Reverse, or AIR, as a member of Njama's Integrated Healthcare Council that has saved many lives through its mental health and suicide prevention education program for students from elementary school through college. Dr. Smith initially contacted AIR co-founder Tricia Baker when he was superintendent of schools in the Hopewell Valley Regional School District to have AIR certified therapy dogs help students relieve stress during exam time. Dr. Smith recognized the benefits of the dogs, and he worked with Tricia to expand the program into an ongoing initiative. Dr. Smith and 5 other district administrators and their dogs became certified dog therapy teams. A second group was certified, and a third cohort is currently being trained. This past July, Dr. Smith became superintendent of schools for Pennsbury School District in Pennsylvania, where he plans to implement the AIR Dogs program. Please join me in honoring Dr. Tom Smith, recipient of the Visionary Leadership and Innovation for Students Mental Health Award.
I'm incredibly humbled and honored by this award, and I accept it on behalf of my colleagues and coworkers who have worked to raise the importance of addressing mental health and addiction amongst our youth. Several years ago, I committed, along with my colleagues at the time, the superintendents of Mercer County, to a call to action. This is to address the mental health of all of our students. This really became the catalyst for much of my work, and I made so many connections with great people along the way, including folks like Jonathan Woods at Comprehensive Mental Health, George Scott at the Center for Counseling and the Traumatic Loss Coalition, and the Mercer Council on Alcoholism and Drug Addiction. And one of my personal favorites, Tricia Baker at Attitudes in Reverse in West Windsor. Based on a recommendation of a former supervisor of guidance, Dr. Christine Abrams, we began to bring therapy dogs into our schools in Hopewell Valley. 2 years later, we had 14 administrators and board members volunteering to train their own personal dogs and deploy them to every school in the district. They made a significant difference in the climate and culture of our schools. If I've done one thing right, it has been supporting the good ideas of others, regardless of who or where they came from. I'm appreciative of this recognition. I accept it on behalf of so many others. And I thank the New Jersey Association of Mental Health and Addiction Agencies for this honor. Thank you.
Stacy Welch is director of Preferred Behavioral Health Group's Visitation Program, which she was hired to develop in 1995. When the program initially focused solely on addressing immediate safety risks, meeting basic care and processing recordings of the supervised visits, Stacy led the evolution of the program to also provide high-quality clinical services. The program has been greatly strengthened and achieved much more positive outcomes as a result of Stacy's vision and efforts. While many professionals have decided not to work with this population due to the complexity and sometimes high degree of trauma involved, Stacy never turned down any case, even those that other agencies found too challenging or high risk. Please join me in honoring Stacy Welch, recipient of the Pivotal Leader and Children's Services Award.
When I first heard colleagues wanted to nominate me for the Pivotal Leadership Award, I was grateful they considered me a candidate. I appreciate your support and recognition. Today, I'm honored Najama has selected me as the recipient with so many other deserving candidates and the predecessors of this award before me. The association, its members, and the platform you provide truly encompass the professional support and collaborative efforts to continue moving forward in a positive direction. To me, leadership is only as good as the team. I would not be here today, given this honor, without the support and staff of employees of Preferred Behavioral Health. To the president and vice presidents that have served above me, thank you for trusting me to structure services in a fluid and often unconventional manner to meet the needs of the youth and families. And the visitation team members, both past and present, this award is for all of us. You truly have encompassed what it means to provide trauma-informed care, diligently advocating for our clients while navigating the legal and child protective systems. And lastly, our children, for trusting us to provide their safe space, for showing and sometimes telling us exactly where we are lacking. When we talk about children's services, we think of mental health, social, and emotional well-being. We look at ACEs, family history, developmental, and educational history. But do we look at how well the various systems collaborate? How about possible risk factors service providers can provide when they're not on the same page? Or if caseloads and building restraints do not allocate adequate time for collaboration? It is my goal to consistently find that common ground, to fill the gap between legal, child protection, clinical, and social community services to prevent risk of additional trauma to our youth. Thank you.
The RWJ Barnabas Health Institute for Prevention and Recovery's continual focus on innovation has enabled the Institute's clients to find hope every day. One of the Institute's most impactful innovations is the RWJ Barnabas Health Tackling Addiction Task Force, which is taking a comprehensive, multidisciplinary approach to combating substance use disorder and has, to date, achieved a 50% reduction in the number of patients discharged from emergency departments with opioid prescriptions. The Institute also established a peer-based hope and healing program to provide emotional health support during the pandemic. In addition, the Institute has reinforced RWJ Barnabas Health's partnership with the New Jersey Reentry Corporation to support individuals with substance use disorder who are re-entering society facing incarceration. Always keeping the staff in mind, as well as clients, the Institute implemented a comprehensive self-care program to address the emotional and mental health needs of its more than 100,000 employees. The Institute is also innovative with technology. For example, electronic health records have been enhanced with an automatic referral function that enables peer recovery specialists to connect with patients more quickly, in as little as 8 minutes. In addition, the Institute staff established innovative reimbursement models. For example, they collaborated with Medicaid New Jersey and Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey on a first-in-the-nation pilot to provide community-based peer recovery support services to commercially insured patients. Please join me in honoring the RWJ Barnabas Health Institute for Prevention and Recovery, recipient of the Innovative Provider of the Year Award, which is being accepted by the Institute's Vice President, Connie Green.
I want to thank Najama for recognizing RWJ Barnabas Health Institute for Prevention and Recovery as the Innovative Provider of the Year. It has been more than a year that agencies such as ours had to determine how to continue to serve vulnerable populations when we all had to lock ourselves behind closed doors. The added effects of isolation and barriers to care prompted us to get creative and discover new ways to connect. Our prevention, recovery, and tobacco quit programs had to pivot to technology and innovation so that we could continue to serve individuals and families in the emergency departments, medical floors, and in the community. What did that mean for us? It meant overcoming new challenges like Zoom, phones, technology, barriers to maintain the strong communities we've built over our 30-year history. In overcoming these challenges, we found alternate ways to serve our populations, which increased and broadened opportunities for community, individuals, and patients to continue their connection with us. We have all learned much during this time of crisis and emotional starvation. Innovation is the core of who we are and how we continue to grow. Thank you, Deb Wentz and Najama, for this honor.
The New Jersey Business and Industry Association launches many impactful initiatives in support of businesses, of which many are nonprofit organizations throughout the state. Michelle Zakirka, President and CEO of NJBIA, and her team are always available to lend their expertise. They are excellent allies and very powerful advocates, taking strong positions with data behind them. NJBIA's impact and strong reputation have become even more evident during the pandemic. NJBIA established a business council for Najama and more than 100 other statewide businesses to benefit from NJBIA's expertise and partner on addressing critical issues such as the hiring crisis and the economic fallout of the pandemic. Most recently, Michelle shared keen insights into labor harmony agreements and related issues during Najama's board and membership meetings. For guidance and strong advocacy regarding return to work issues, hiring practices, and anything else related to business, NJBIA is the gold standard. Please join me in honoring the New Jersey Business and Industry Association recipient of the Making the Business Case Award, which is being accepted by President and CEO Michelle Zakirka.
I'd like to thank Deborah and the New Jersey Association of Mental Health and Addiction Agencies for recognizing NJBIA today. First, I want to start by saying it has been an extraordinary year of collaboration along with the agency and all of you, as we have worked tirelessly through COVID to ensure that you had access to the resources that you need to serve your clients. Going forward, it's important that we continue to ensure that we work hard on regulatory relief, ensuring you have the economic resources and access to human capital that you need to provide your services. I'm often heard saying that without agencies and organizations like yours, government could never step in and pick up the pieces to provide the safety net programs that you do. Thank you for what you do tirelessly each and every day for the residents of the state of New Jersey.
Always a shining leader, Deborah Visconti President and CEO of Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, further established her impressive reputation during the pandemic. In anticipation of a second surge of COVID-19, Deborah had two 49-bed facilities built and a gymnasium converted into a care unit. She led the hospital's implementation of a robust mobile community testing program, and she established a partnership with the County of Bergen to create the COVID-19 Equity Vaccination Team. Not surprisingly, Deborah gained recognition statewide and nationally as an innovator and was recently nominated to Modern Healthcare's 100 Most Influential People in Healthcare. She is definitely a pioneer and immediately takes action. She is very caring, extremely smart, hardworking, and innovative. She certainly has engaged many diverse populations, including LGBTQ, into all of the hospital's operations. Deborah is even more inspiring because she demonstrates personal courage. She shared in the media her experience in contracting COVID after having been vaccinated. Deb's openness is truly heartening and makes her a strong role model for us all. Please join me in honoring Deborah Visconti, recipient of the Leadership in Setting an Example During COVID Award.
Hi, I'm Deborah Visconti, President and CEO of Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. I am honored to receive the Courage and Compassion Award, and I thank Najama and especially Deborah Wentz for recognizing my leadership throughout COVID-19. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the amazing staff at Bergen Newbridge Medical Center who worked tirelessly to make sure that our patients, long-term care residents, and all the communities we serve were cared for each and every day. I am so proud of the efforts of my Bergen Newbridge family and grateful for the support from our county executive, county partners, my board of trustees, my senior team, and our community. I have been asked hundreds of times what it is like leading the largest hospital and nursing home in New Jersey through a pandemic. Honestly, there was never time to think about that. We were often building the ship while sailing it, and as captain, it was my job to keep moving forward, safeguarding all those on board, no matter how rough the waters got, and they got rough. However, what I saw every day was amazing resiliency, compassion, professionalism, innovation, and unwavering commitment to care. This kept me going and inspired me through the darkest moments. Leadership during COVID was many things: facing the unknown daily, making decisions you never thought you'd have to make, and pivoting all the time. That was the hallmark of this pandemic. However, the one thing that stayed consistent was surrounding myself with the right people who were doing the right thing at the right time and trusting them to keep doing it day and night. They returned that trust by supporting my decisions, changes, and adaptations as we reimagined healthcare to make sure our doors stayed open, all of our services intact, and that we were providing needed care to all our communities, either on site or within neighborhoods, doing our part to emerge from this pandemic. Harnessing the power of people and the power of partnerships is the legacy of pandemic leadership. I am grateful for this award and truly thankful to all those who stood by my side throughout this unprecedented time. Thank you again to Najama, not only for this recognition, but for the amazing work that you do. I am honored to be your partner and looking forward to getting through COVID together and working collaboratively to improve the total wellness of our diverse communities. Thank you.
I am delighted to present Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman with the Federal Legislator of the Year Award in recognition of her stellar career of public service. Currently, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman is a leader in the Congressional Black Caucus efforts to prevent suicide among Black youth, and she co-authored the Drug Policy Reform Act, which would eliminate criminal penalties for personal use possession expunge criminal records, and prohibit discrimination based on past drug use. Representative Watson Coleman authored the Pursuing Equity in Mental Health Act, H.R. 1475, which aims to address the disparities in access for individuals of color, and which the House passed in May of this year. She also co-sponsored the Helping Homeless Veterans Act of 2019, H.R. 2223, which would permanently extend several Department of Veteran Affairs programs, referral and counseling services for veterans at risk of homelessness, financial assistance for supportive services for low-income veteran families, and treatment for homeless veterans who have serious mental illness. And these are just a few examples of the tremendous work that Bonnie Watson Coleman has done during her career. So please join me in honoring Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, recipient of the Federal Legislator of the Year Award.
I'd like to start by thanking everyone at New Jersey Association of Mental Health and Addiction Agencies for all the important work that you do advocating for individuals with serious mental illnesses, substance abuse, substance use disorders, and behavior problems. I am proud to be recognized by an organization that has supported the mental health needs of our communities through advocacy, education, training, and a variety of other services for over 7 decades. 2 years ago, my office launched the Congressional Black Caucus Emergency Task Force on Black Youth Suicide and Mental Health. For 8 months, the task force held hearings, forums, listening sessions, and events that shed light on the need for resources, for awareness, for research, and for education. The report that followed inspired the Pursuing Equity in Mental Health Act that I first authored in 2019. The findings of the report highlighted the racial disparities in mental health resources and the disproportionate disciplinary sanctions and referrals faced by Black youth in schools. This information should serve as an urgent call to action for all Americans to reverse the trends for suicide and ensure that Black children and teens are receiving mental health care. We must continue to have these difficult but necessary conversations. We must continue to pursue equity in mental health because the systems that we have in place simply do not address the mental health needs for all communities. We must have these conversations until every individual, regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status, has affordable access to resources and treatment. I'm honored to receive this award, and I am inspired by the good work you all do to elevate the mental health needs in our communities. Thank you.
New Jersey Senator Teresa Ruiz stood out as State Legislator of the Year based on her extraordinary leadership and passion for improving New Jersey residents' quality of life. One example was her tremendous support that resulted in full restoration of funding in the revised fiscal year 2021 state budget, as well as significantly increased funding for the school-based youth services program in the fiscal year 2022 state budget. Among the numerous bills Senator Ruiz sponsored are S-686, which would create a program to divert individuals with mental illness from jail, S-705, which would require the Department of Health to increase access to postpartum depression screening, S-1025, which would require certain additional school personnel to complete suicide prevention training, and S-1030, which would establish a pilot student mental health assisted program in selected school districts. Senator Ruiz also introduced S-1242, which would require that inmates participate in Medicaid enrollment sessions 60 days prior to their release, and S 1810 to establish a pilot program requiring certain law enforcement agencies to coordinate with local school districts to identify and assist at-risk youth. Please join me in honoring Senator Teresa Ruiz, recipient of the State Legislator of the Year Award.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking a moment to celebrate many of us who probably will share the same thing. You've considered me as Legislator of the Year, and the truth of the matter is that the debt of gratitude should not be on me, it should be to all of you. The association has done extraordinary work in the policy space, but most importantly in the people space. Mental health is a real thing. It's something that we all have to be committed to, and understanding that regardless as to where we stand, what title we hold, what job or what career path we're in, each one of us can probably share some kind of story where we've been impacted in some different way, whether it's through addiction, recovery, or in the specific mental health space. As the chair of the Senate Education Committee, I'm just so proud of the work that we did in restoring the funding to critically needed resources to be sure that our students have access to programs available to them, to be sure that we're not only taking about the academic growth, but we're also taking care of the social emotional growth as well. So to all of my fellow honorees, congratulations to all of you. You want to applaud all of us, but the truth of the matter is that I wanted to take an opportunity to applaud all of the agencies and all of the programmers and everyone who is out there on a daily basis making sure that the human being itself is being taken care of. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of you.
Erica DeGlau is synonymous with Rutgers School of Social Work's intensive weekend MSW program, for which she serves as director in addition to being a professor of teaching. The intensive weekend program was created in 2006 for child welfare workers. In 2010, Najama approached then executive in residence Bill Waldman and Erica about expanding this program to behavioral health providers. Erica's leadership, drive, and commitment made the intensive weekend program a model program for developing the behavioral healthcare workforce. To date, more than 400 students have graduated from the program, and many have been promoted to supervisory roles or have moved into clinical and therapeutic intervention positions. The program creates another generation of credentialed professionals and helps keep employees in their organizations. Rutgers School of Social Work, Najama, and the behavioral healthcare system have benefited tremendously from Erica's visionary leadership. We will miss her as she will be retiring later this year, but I look forward to continuing our friendship and our French connection. Erica's daughter lives in Paris, and over the years, we developed a special friendship and we speak French with one another. Please join me in honoring Erica DeGlau, recipient of the Education Pioneer for Workforce Development Award.
Thank you to Najama and its leadership, Dr. Wentz, Shauna Moses, Mary Abrams, to the board, and to Najama membership for this very fine honor. It is an honor that I share with all of you, for in your support of professional development for your essential frontline staff, you are truly the educational pioneers. While my task has been to put together a program that would permit your employees to pursue an MSW manageably without interrupting their careers, you have believed in, supported, and so very often mentored your staff as they embarked on a challenging educational journey. Together, we have been able to create a powerful alliance between experience and education. You may not know that NJAMA and a number of its members played a pivotal role in the IW program's extension to the broader human services workforce from its initial focus in public child welfare. These visionary leaders realized early on the program's potential to provide a path for promising employees to gain the skills and knowledge needed to advance in their careers and to contribute to the stability of their organizations. Over the past 15 years, we have grown from a small, non-traditional program for working students to an annual enrollment of over 200 students throughout the state, more than 3/4 of whom are employees of NJAMA member agencies. By the end of this academic year, we will have graduated more than 800 MSWs. For some among you, several generations of your staff have achieved an MSW through our program. Our ongoing affiliation with NJAMA and with many of you directly has infused the intensive weekend program with current developments in the field and in our classes, thoughtful consideration of its challenges. I am confident that the ongoing relationship of the School of Social Work and this program with NJAMA will ensure that our human services employee-focused MSW program will continue to contribute creatively to this critical workforce. Thank you so much.
Long before health equity became a national main issue of focus, Deacon Laverne S. Williams, director of the Mental Health Association in New Jersey's Promoting Emotional Wellness and Spirituality program, was working with diverse communities. In fact, from the beginning, Laverne had a model of meeting the African American and Latinx populations where they are, such as houses of worship, and she developed partnerships between faith-based communities and behavioral health institutions. Throughout her career in mental health services, Laverne has undertaken tremendous efforts to influence change in how communities, especially those of color, view and treat mental illness. Laverne launched new support services for Black communities during the pandemic. She hosts weekly Facebook Live events called Thankful Tuesdays and facilitates monthly online meetings called Healing in Conversations. Laverne is also a powerful advocate on behalf of individuals with mental illness, an inspirational human being. She has certainly engaged hundreds, if not thousands, into treatment through her work and education. Please join me in honoring Laverne Williams, recipient of the Enhancing Wellness and Recovery Through Spirituality Award.
For many persons with emotional challenges, a big part of the support system is the relationship with God and our church family. A large percentage of Americans consider ourselves religious, and we use prayer as an important way to cope. Prayer is powerful, but it may not be enough to deal with some of our burdens. We may also need professional help. The strong stigma against admitting that we or someone in our family is having emotional difficulties will make it so persons might not want to go for professional help. But mental health treatment, along with prayer and the help of our church family, can be a powerful combination on the road to recovery. The Pews program intentionally bridges the gap between emotional wellness and spiritual wellness. Thank you.
No one would expect a strong and visible journalist in New Jersey media to be physically based in San Francisco. Despite the distance, Brett Johnson, staff writer for ROI-NJ, hasn't missed a beat. He stays on top of New Jersey behavioral healthcare issues, and he frequently contacts me for insights into state budgets, legislation, and challenges that the state's behavioral healthcare system faces. To give a well-rounded view, I also refer him to some of our members, and he incorporates all of this input into compelling, thorough, and highly informative news articles. Examples from the past year include supply and demand. In mental health sector, pandemic is straining profession already stretched thin by low wages, other factors. Another example is Murphy's budget lauded by leading healthcare associations. Yet another is New Jersey Association of Mental Health and Addiction Agencies pushing for more funding in budget. And he also wrote, mental health providers prepare to deal with wave of COVID-related ills, even as their businesses' bottom lines crumble. Brett really brings our story to light. So please join me in honoring Brett Johnson, recipient of the Truth in Media Award.
First off, very honored to have been picked for a Truth in Media Award by the New Jersey Association of Mental Health and Addiction Agencies. So I write for the business publication RYNJ. And while that means I might approach the news as a business reporter is asked to, what I've found to be the case is that there's few things more quietly tied into trends in not only business, but the economy at large and mental health and the functioning of the provider ecosystem in the state. So credit where credit's due. I wear a lot of hats in my role as a reporter at RYNJ, and I really rely on organizations such as yours to feed me the insights that I can then relay to our readership. And Deborah Wentz in particular has been such an asset to my reporting over the years. So I invite any organization out there to reach out to our publication or me directly with your stories, because more often than not, we're very willing to explore new narratives and when they're brought to us and find ways to meld that into what we do. So again, I really appreciate this recognition and I look forward to continuing to hear from you all in the future.
I want to thank each and every one of you sincerely for joining me today for this uplifting ceremony. Again, I would like to warmly congratulate all the award recipients and extend Najama's tremendous gratitude to RWJ Barnabas Institute for Prevention and Recovery and Rutgers University School of Social Work for sponsoring today's award ceremony. I look forward to receiving many more nominations for next year's Courage and Compassion Awards, as individuals and organizations greatly inspire me with the innovation, compassion, and dedication of all who work in our field every day. Thank you and have a good rest of the day.